Hello and welcome back to StarCraft, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to be playing Zerg Wars. This is a game that we showed off a few times on our live streams, but we haven't actually done a video on it, and today that changes. So first off, let's just go through a brief explanation about what this game is. This is a player versus environment versus player tower defense. And it's played in a cooperative fashion. You'll notice I have 4 players per team. That's 3 teammates. We have a Terran player, we have a Nova player, we have a Protoss player, and myself as a Nova player on one team defending against the Endless Horde. And the objective of this game is to be the last team standing, as the enemy horde of Zerg will infinitely increase its power until, well, one team fails and the game ends. And the only way for a team to fail is to lose your base. So the Zerg will run down from above all the way through our column and attempt to destroy our planetary fortress at the bottom here. Our objective is to not let that happen by any means necessary, which usually involves sending units over to the enemy team here on this left side and breaking them and using our own units to rush through this corridor and destroy their planetary fortress all the way at the bottom of their base. Last team standing wins. So I'm going to be taking the role of the aggressor here, I would imagine. Let's see, does this other Nova has not won before or played before, so I don't think they know what they're doing. We'll probably be able to tell them to play defensive. In fact, let's go ahead and do that. Yes, this is a good strat. And I'm just going to play around with my Nova hero here. As the Nova commander, I don't get a whole lot of units. I get a fair few units that are quite strong, and I'm going to be abusing those. Nova is known as an aggressive commander. While the Nova can do things like mass ghosts as a solid defense, generally you're not playing Nova for the purposes of being aggressive. Generally you're playing Nova so that you can go mess up the enemy team, because Nova does aggressive play and covert operations very, very well. And I'm looking forward to showing that off to you guys. If you guys remember last time we played, at least on stream, I was doing a lot of what we called a MOBA Nova, and that was using the hero upgrades, casting all of these, and then using Nova's plethora of abilities to go harass the enemy mostly into making them rage quit, which was kind of fun. It was very enjoyable for me specifically. But we're not going to be doing that this time. This time we're actually going to be building units and just straight up destroying the enemy and anywhere on their side of the field. It's going to be much more satisfying, I think. Much more effective, I think is a good way to put it. And to start out with, I'm getting my Covert Ops Ghost Academies. These are basically my engineering base, my research facilities. They get all the good upgrades. I'm going to queue up every upgrade here, knowing full well that that's just going to be money sat there not being used. But that's fine, because I'm going to sit around and not use my money for quite some time, because my units are expensive. And if I'm going to be bringing Burrowed Ultralists, oh dear. Well, my units are expensive, and if I'm going to be bringing a meaningful amount to the other side, I need to bring a meaningful amount all at the same time, and that's going to cost a significant sum of cash, and that's not something I have right now. So we're going to not worry about spending our money and just play around with our hero unit here, try to hold things off. Now, the Burrowed Ultralists, these are just random Zerg creeps that will spawn in and among and absolutely everywhere, mostly behind our lines, and cause a huge amount of chaos. Looks like my teammate has decided to go with Mass Ghost. Good, excellent. This is great. There's a couple Ultralists at the base. This is exactly why I build the Covert Ops Academies over here next to the Planetary Fortress, because Planetary Fortress can keep them alive. I don't really care about the barracks because it's cheap and I'm not building ghosts. This is fine. So right now, my immediate goal is to collect as much cash as possible. But how do you collect cash in this game? By killing things. Every time I kill a unit, I get minerals. You see the +3 popping up over the heads of these creatures that have been melted, disintegrated, liquefied. I don't know what this weapon does, but it looks like it's liquefying them. Every time you kill off a unit, you get money, so defending is good. It's how you get your income in this game. And obviously this massive Marines is going to be getting way more minerals per second than I am. In fact, I can check here to see the kills. I'm up at 293, whereas my teammate here, Mr. Schniz, is up at 880, which is kind of a lot. So I'm somewhat behind in the resource generation, but that's okay, as I won't be doing much in the way of defending here. Most of my kills will be found on the other side of the map, mostly my opponent's units, because they too generate minerals whenever I kill them. So I'm going to be getting my minerals by farming the opponent's units. And that's going to be happening here in a few minutes after I get up to about 2,000 income. In fact, let me switch to shotgun here, clear out that swath of Zerglings. There appeared to have been a mild swarm here. A quick pack that needed to be removed. For Nova's abilities, we have a lot of them. I don't know that it really matters to explain them all, in so much that we get the shotgun, the big thunderous AoE ability. We get the plasma rifle, which I think only had one showing in the campaign, which is more single target damage, but creates these puddles of AoE damage whenever it kills a unit, which is good for more crowd control, because the puddles also cause a movement reduction as well as a weapon speed reduction to any target affected by the goo puddles. In assault mode, as I'm using now, I also have access to blink. And Nova, as you would expect, is a ghost who can cloak. And while cloaked, Nova can use the abilities of snipe, which is quite good, so I can just snipe that corruptor away, which is worth 3 minerals, sorry, which is not a whole lot for something that thick. I also get the sabotage drone, which I'm going to cast over here just to show it off. It's basically an anti-structure AoE attack. It does damage. So you see it did kill off that Zergling, but it isn't great damage. Oh, my Terran ally is pushing, so I'm going to go ahead and cast my I'm going to cast my ultimate ability here, which, while in assault mode, is the Hollow Decoy, which will let the Hollow Decoy take some damage so that my teammate doesn't eat all these spine crawler shots, because these are super spine crawlers and I don't want to have to deal with it. Both teams get attacked by a stank. That's really very unfortunate timing, because I just used my ultimate ability, and it would be great if the stank wasn't about to eat all of my teammates' Marines. As much as I don't want to be taking hits from the stank, the alternative is that my teammate takes hits, and my teammate is made out of Marines. And yep, that's what happens when the stank hits Marines. It's real bad. So I could face tank that for a while, but oh look, we now have 3,000 monies. You know what that means? It's time to cause some damage. I'm gonna go ahead and set my Nova over here. There you go. You just rally yourself up there so you don't have to think about it. I'm going to deploy a dropship onto the enemy's side. A dropship will enable me to, well, drop units off. And I actually didn't build my starport, which is what I want to use for this. So let's go ahead and build a starport right over here. It's going to take us a moment then before we can actually bring units onto the field. And from this point in time, my Nova hero unit is just going to be a defensive backline. It's going to basically stop things that try to get by. Conveniently, we also have teammates that are defending, because who'da thunk this is a cooperative defense game. Last one standing. Looks like our... Well, she's got elite Marines and everything. Those are going quite well. Alright, in that case, let's make sure we have you hotkeyed. I'm going to do nothing but aggression here. I'm going to bring in some raid liberators, put them on their own hotkey. Get these smart servos, which enables them to transform quicker, and raid artillery, so now we can actually target structures. I'm also going to purchase the enhanced manufacturing for the Ravens, and the covert triage, which will enable them to cloak targets that are being healed by the Raven, because the Raven has the biomechanical repair drone. Isn't Nova fun? But with 6 raid liberators, basically super liberators, we're going to start doing some aggression here. First off, I'm going to break these rocks. If you notice on our side, there are rocks around. And these rocks open up new pathways. Pathways that are generally not terribly well defended. Because why would you? Because there are rocks, especially early on when there's no way for the enemy to get through the rocks. Now I'm going to target down all of these structures and let the Zerg use these side pathways to get up and into the enemy's defenses. You can see the enemy Mobius Foundation is actually casting their ultimate ability, trying to clear out and defend. And just like that, this side is breached for the opponents. And look how much money I got out of it. I'm already back up to 1,000 monies. Isn't that nice? What I like about Raid Liberators is they're basically pre-nerf Terran Liberators. So they clear the skies when you get enough of them. I want to get the weapons upgrades faster, more than anything else here. While I have the opportunity, let's go clear out this quick little defense here for another 300 minerals. Notice each Zergling gives between 1 and 2 minerals. A single tower gives 300, which is kind of a lot. I'm going to open this up, which will enable the Zerg to go straight down the line. I'm noticing there's not a whole lot of Zerg coming down the middle, so there's got to be something blocking them. Probably a bunch of defenses roundabout here. Nope. Okay, so whatever was there got cleaned up. So that's good. I'm going to go open this real quick, just so the Zerg can use this pathway. And then we'll try to do some more harassing here. It looks like the Mobius Foundation player is struggling to defend. Let's cast a few more Raven deployments about, because Ravens are what keep my Liberators going. Between the heals and the emergency spell casting of burst damage, I can cast Railgun turrets, usually in a defensive formation. I can also cast the Predator Missile, which is just straight damage, which is amazing. Alright, so now I want to do this. Get rid of this rock, which will open up this path. These are actually enemy Zerg. It looks like the enemy Zerg has decided to deploy a bunch of Ultralisks onto this lane in an effort to push back and buy himself some extra time. I'm going to deny the Ultras. Yep. Oof, no more Ultras for you. Isn't that great? So immediately we've pushed him back, and I'm going to push with the Zerg here in an attempt to kill off these... Oh, is this an Alarak? Yep, there's no more Alarak. Alright, these hybrid need to go. These are quite large. Oh, they have so much HP. Let's get our attack upgrades maxed. There we go. I need to stop that structure from being built, because that's a very big one. Let's cast this here before it does something to us. Okay, nice. Very nice. So we did a huge amount of damage here. Oh, this Zerg is going super heavy on the economy. You can actually play as the Zerg faction, and when you're playing as the Zerg faction, it enables you to augment the NPC swarm. So while all the Zerg is swarming in the hostile creeps, you can upgrade them. Oh, look, Scourge. This is what I love to see. So remember how pre-nerf Liberators just cleared the skies of everything? Yeah, well, that's how that works. The Scourge are gone. Oh, look, Mobius things. Isn't that great? Splash damage and good damage. Oh, these things are... There's a reason they got nerfed on ladder. And I think we're just going to wipe out the Planetary Fortress here, because he can't... Yep, there we go. And that's that. Liberators are fun. Alright guys, make sure to hit that like button and the subscribe button so you can see more bullying shenanigans like this in the StarCraft arcade. If you guys want to learn how to play the other factions, we can play Mengsk, Mobius, and all these other wacky commanders, make sure to check back next time. But for now, have a good one everyone, and I'll see you guys later.